and you are listening to KOPN Columbia 89.5 FM, Mid-Missouri source for in-depth news, diverse talk, music of the world. It is more than radio. It is community radio, 89.5 on the FM dial and streaming live on the web at kopn.org. It is just about 9 o'clock on a lovely Friday morning. It's the 10th of August, 10th of August, 2018. Another sunny day. Going to be hot out there, but should be a nice weekend. Welcome to the program. This is Open Mic Radio. Every Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, we get together with some local, regional musicians and talk a little bit and play some music live here in the studio. We are going to do the same thing this morning, but before we do that, I would like to say a big thank you to the guys from the band Blackwater who were in the studio and talked with me last week. Enjoyed their company and a great little project they got going. Blackwater, 4 young men from the Columbia area here. I actually saw them play at Cooper's Landing then the following day on Saturday, and the Flood Brothers finished up that show, and that was a whole lot of fun. We had Blackwater, I don't know, they played for a few hours in the late afternoon, and Flood Brothers came on right afterwards, and a lot of great music that afternoon, and the young guys being supported by the older guys, and anyway, great music scene out there. So thanks to Blackwater for coming on the program, and we'll talk to you guys again one of these days, and keep me up to date on the shows you got coming up, and we'll talk about them here on the air, okay? All right, let's see. Today on the program, I'm really excited. I've got my friend Todd Day Wait in the studio with me. He is actually tuning up his guitar and strumming a little bit in the background there, but I think he can probably say hello. Hey there, Todd.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, brother?
Oh, not too bad this morning.
I sure appreciate you coming down. 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and getting to be a habit, though. So why don't we start things off with a piece of music, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit, all right?
That sounds good to me.
All right, we got Todd Day Wait. This is Open Mic Radio, KOPN Columbia. Anything you want, Todd.
Here's a brand new song. It's called Heart Over Mind. Hope you guys like it. They say time can change, Lord, everything. Poor man rich, a good man blind. They say fix your gaze straight ahead and you'll be fine. Heart over mind. Something's calling me. Something's calling me. And I know it won't let me be. They say time, it can change, Lord, everything. A good man rich, a poor man blind. They say fix your gaze straight ahead and you'll be fine. Heart over mind. Yes, you'll be fine. Heart over mind. Oh, thanks, man.
All right. I love it. Very nice. Thank you very much, sir. What Heart Over Mind, that's called?
Oh yeah, I've just been trying. It's a new song. It's not completely finished, but I've been working on it.
I like it a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Will that be something that you'll record eventually?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut some demos here. Just let the place I'm staying for the next month, and then maybe cut them in a nice studio this fall.
All right. Okay. So before we get there, let's back up a little bit for the people who are not familiar with you and your work. Todd Day Wait is his name. He is someone who I met years ago. I guess probably 15 years ago or something, 12 at least, maybe.
Blue Fugue. Whenever. I'm not sure.
05, 06, something like that.
Yeah.
And one of a whole group of men and women that kind of were coming through the scene at that time, a lot of whom have really gone on to do really great and what I consider, really quality music in a lot of different genres, So anyway, a little bit about yourself, Todd. Are you from this area originally?
Yeah, I was born in Kirksville, but moved here when I was 2. So
to Columbia.
To Columbia. So I grew up here, and all going to school and stuff, and both sides of my family is from northern Missouri, but nope, I grew up in the old Columbia, Missouri.
No kidding. Where'd you go to school?
Oh, went to Hickman High School, and I took a few classes at the college every once in a while.
Hi, Diana. Todd, that's Diana.
Well,
she's my partner in crime, so
we met
don't mind
long
her.
time ago at one point.
Okay, good. Okay, so school, was it Hickman you said?
Yeah, I went to Hickman High School, and actually this morning I had a cup of coffee and took a drive. I used to live on East Campus when I was like 17.
Yeah.
So I took a drive through there this morning. That was pretty interesting.
That's awesome. Before I came here, I dropped my son off at Hickman High School at 6 o'clock in the morning. He runs cross country, and those guys start pretty early. But yeah, he's starting high school himself. I'm very weird having my own kid starting now. So anyway, okay, so Hickman, and then have you been a musician? When did music kind of get involved in your life? You have music in the family?
Well, my mom plays piano, and my grandma on my mom's side, she played piano and sang, and then her relatives older than her also played and sang. Not professionally, but just your standard.
Right, had a piano around the house.
Yeah, there's not much to do on a Friday or Saturday night in the middle of northern Missouri, so they had a lot of picking parties and stuff. But
there was a lot more of that back in the day than there is now, I think.
Yeah, I actually have 2 tapes they recorded, just like cassette tapes. But they're really cool because it's just really cool what 4 people can do standing around a piano with the harmony singing, and it's pretty entertaining. And yeah, that's not too much. I started playing when I was a kid, and I spent a lot of time sitting in the back of my truck at Hickman High School playing guitar on lunch break. That's for sure.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, that was. I tried to maximize as much time as I could. I remember lunch break. Instead of taking lunch, I'd go out there and pick on the back of my truck for a little while.
That's awesome.
Get a little bit guitar in.
Did you play the piano as well? Because your mom did?
I never took lessons or anything, but I always kind of just taught myself how to play. And my grandma played like ragtime stride piano.
Cool.
Which was really rad for just out in the middle of northern Missouri.
Well, huge history of ragtime here. Scott Joplin made a lot of music and did some stuff in Sedalia, and I guess St. Louis probably too. And
yeah, it's actually Missouri's got really interesting for fiddle music, and also it's an interesting state because a lot of the 20s to the 30s, like Western swing was a big thing, and jazz and string bands. But we had a kind of a weird string band thing happening here, and weird because we had the ragtime, a lot of piano music, but we also still had the classic fiddles and banjos and guitars.
So the traditional that ended up being bluegrass stuff.
Yeah, because they ended up doing this old time music. They started doing like playing in like flat keys. I don't know. Just there's something really cool about Missouri music. I think I'm not clearly a little biased, but
I've come to love it myself. I really had no idea about the history of music here in Missouri. I'm from Chicago originally, and did some stuff in Denver, and actually been some other places. But what a rich history of music here. Just as a side note, I'm thinking of Roy Acuff, who's somewhere down the line from Ruth and her and her family, and I've listened to more of his music just in the last few years. And man, incredible old, just fantastic music.
Well, and there's a lot of great a lot of great Missouri songwriters and pickers from the area, and singers, and it was just an interesting state when it came to music because we were far enough away from the East Coast. I think it had little influence.
Kind of got to develop on its own.
Well, yeah, compared to like Virginia or North Carolina, you're right by the coast. So you have a lot of like, and here we're so far away. It's like it's kind of let to its own devices to grow.
What about yourself, influence-wise? I hear certainly some old traditional country. I don't know, but what do you like, and what did you grow up with?
Well, I like definitely like 20s through 60s music. I'm a pretty fan of. I
really?
think.
So the 20s music, huh?
Well, in 20s they had like Jimmy Rogers and Riley Puckett and all these string bands that were really cool because they a lot of them mixed the lines between blues and country and just world music, and it was. I think it's just a really unique period of time.
That's awesome.
Because you have a lot of these cool string bands doing like modern day popular songs, and so I like a lot of the 20s stuff. And each decade, I think, kind of has its own little charm.
Right. Well, Jimmy Rogers. I mean, I don't know how many songs he wrote. Right.
He's he definitely put a cool prototype down, and it's always nice kind of digging in when you like an artist and kind of digging into people like that are similar to them or influence them.
Right.
And I first got into Jimmy Rogers, and that kind of turned on to you get a love affair with about 30 other bands that are really similar to what he does.
Right.
And then it's kind of amazing. It was a good idea whoever recorded all those guys. That's all I gotta say.
All right. Speaking of that, how about when did you begin playing with bands, and how did you eventually get with the Pigpen?
Well, I started playing bands, I guess, when I was 19 or 20, and then kind of had a band here around town, like a rock and roll band, and then I always played on the streets. Starting about that time period.
I remember seeing you out busking all the time.
Yeah, I used to just kind of get the hustle down here in town. Then I kind of, I think in 2009, started taking my hustle full time around the country and kind of putting bands together and doing the West Coast or Midwest or the South. And then it was real hodgepodge for the first 3 or 4 years. There's definitely different people everywhere, and but. I started forming this Pig band, like the current band, maybe 5-6 years ago. Of like doing a solid lineup and of a full band. And
what's the makeup of the band right now?
And that band's now is fiddle, pedal steel, upright, drums, and myself.
Right.
Started playing with a full-time drummer maybe a year and a half ago, and kicks it up a decade. But I like it. He's a killer drummer. He's a New Orleans cat, so it's you can play all the stuff from the 20s and all the stuff to the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, so I think I ran into you at the Paul and the Scrappers show a few weeks ago.
Great band.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that because I know you and Paul are pals, and he played with you for a while.
Oh yeah.
But I hadn't seen you for a long time, so you definitely have been out on the road for a good decade or so, I bet. Why don't we play another song for us here, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about where you've been, all right?
That sounds perfect.
All right, cool. This is Mike Hagan, and you are listening to Open Mic Radio on KOPN Columbia, 89.5 FM. I've got Todd Day Wait in the studio with me. Real glad to have him this morning. He's going to play another song for us here. Stick around after this program. We have Diana Moxon, and Speaking of the Arts, got a fun program scheduled with Diana. And in the meantime, we're going to keep doing some music here. So without further delay, once again, this is Todd Day Wait. What do you got for us, Todd?
Well, this is a song I wrote down in New Orleans several years ago. This one's called The Early Morning Blues.
All right, here we go.
I wrote this on I was standing on the corner one morning, and hope you guys like it.
All right.
I got the early morning blues, got the early morning blues. Hey, I got 'em in my head from the things she said. Lord, that don't give you them morning blues. Hey, she told me this She told me that she loved me right out flat. Then she changed her plan. Hey, she needs a new man. Oh Lord, that don't give you them on the morning blues. Well, she's got a new one, boy, you know that's true. She's holding him now, she ain't holding you. You know what they're doing now. Hey, you know what they're doing now. Lord, that don't give you them on the morning blues. I'll tell them that. Missing me, she ain't a missing nothing. She's getting plenty, a new guy hugging. You know what they're doing now. They ain't hugging, folks. Oh, you know what they're doing now. Oh Lord, they don't give you them on the morning blues. What else now? Is he sweeter than me? Pure cane sugar. Better than me, a darn good cooker. Todd, you're like grits. The new boys like sweet tea. Oh Lord, that don't give you them on the morning blues. I'll tell them I got the early morning blues. Yes, the early morning blues. Yeah, I got them in my head from the things she said. Lord, that don't give you them on the morning blues. Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
True story.
Early morning blues. I feel you, man. Trust me.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We've all been there, I think. I love it. All right, everybody. Todd Day Wait. Thank you very much again for coming out, and thanks to everybody out there for listening. And we will. And thank you to my friend the Trash Man who comes every Friday. And makes a big racket out there in the alley. Kind of, it's like having a drum kit in the background with a kid that doesn't really know what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, okay, so back to the band. So you took off here when you said 2009 or so?
Yeah. And
did you go to New Orleans?
No, I kind of took a crazy way. I went to Colorado, and then I went to California. The years past, I kind of just did part-time touring, so I just drive about, no big game plan. But then I did the whole coastlines one year in America. I did like the West Coast and East Coast, driving up the coast.
And playing music the whole way.
Yeah, at that point I was just kind of like half playing music, half just kind of just bumming around, drifting.
Right.
And then, but I didn't do, the only section I didn't do was L.A. to San Diego. So I had an urge. I wanted to go to San Diego and then drive up, and then I was done.
Right.
And then I ended up going to San Diego and find a bunch of places to busk for the next like 3 or 4 months. And
awesome.
I actually met some good buddies out there, so I'm still friends with. And then years past, I went to New Orleans before, and I realized in the wintertime it was a really good place to go because it's cheap to live, you can make good money playing music. And so I went down there that first year. Actually, I had a good buddy, Rob, I used to play with here in town.
I remember.
He moved down there, and I stayed in his kitchen for the first time. The first time I went down there, he was like, I only have a single room apartment, which is like literally one room and then the kitchen.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's plenty of room. I'll sleep under the kitchen table. And it was great. We had a good...
Safe under there.
That was a lot of fun. But
did it have a glass top?
No glass top. No, it just had... But it was a big table. That was nice. At least it had a little tuck away. And that one apartment, we fit his upright bass, my Fender Rhodes, recording gear.
Oh my God!
So basically, it was a bed, musical instruments, and then 2 dudes.
And a traveling, traveling recording studio.
Oh yeah.
All right, so people who are familiar with you would know you from Todd Day Wait's Pigpen. That's actually the formal name of the band. So it's a 5-piece now, you said?
Yes, sir.
All right, and the other guys, are there any females in the band? Just 5 guys right now, I think.
It's 5 guys. I mean, a lot of...
I know you have a lot of guests.
Yeah, I hire a lot of different people for tours, and definitely have had a few lady bass players and drummers that are stellar. And but right now, it's just got some boys, some based out of New Orleans, some based out of Nashville.
And what's up right now? Because you're here in Columbia, and the band's off on the road doing their own thing right now, or what?
Oh yeah, everybody's just has different gigs and different tours. So I'm actually here for the next 6 weeks in Missouri. I've rented a room and down by Cooper's, and I'll be playing a bunch of solo and duo shows for the next 6 weeks.
All right, we'll talk about some of those shows. You played Logboat last night, right?
Oh yeah, I played Logboat last night, and it was a good time. And had a new buddy, Mr. Dennis, come in and sit on some lap steel, which is
Dennis. What's his last name?
I forgot. Schubert. I forgot. I'm gonna mispronounce it.
Yeah, that's all right.
But he was good friends with Woody, and I had a few people recommended to me because I was looking to put a little combo band together.
While you're here.
And he showed up to the gig last night, and we met, and then played a few sets together, and he killed it. So hopefully,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think it'll come down on Saturday down to Cooper's.
So you're playing this Saturday at Cooper's.
Yeah, playing this Saturday 7 to 10, and we'll have a little guitar and steel, and maybe we'll round up a little bass player.
Sounds great. I was down there last Saturday, and we had a great time. I was mentioning there's a band, actually the kids that were here on the show last Friday played Cooper's, and then the Flood Brothers played afterwards, and we had a great time. And if you for folks out there, if you're not familiar, if you haven't been down to Cooper's Landing this summer, it's a good weekend to do it. It's the weather's supposed to be real nice, and it's a great little venue down there. Real cool, comfortable place. You can get a little bite to eat and grab a beer, bring a bottle of wine or something if you want, and always great music. So Todd Day Wait playing down there tomorrow. That's cool. Who else? Anybody else playing in the sometimes they have an earlier band in the afternoon.
I think there might be an earlier band. I'm not sure who that is, but I know we're playing from 7 to 10, and Cooper's Landing is one of my favorite places to play in town. You know, realistically, to be able to play a show where you can throw a rock into the Missouri River, and it's perfect sunset, and it's actually right now the closest bar to my home, so where I stay at right now. So that's actually I'm really
great,
excited about that aspect.
I'm actually looking at their website right now, and it seems that let's see, they got the Phil Luke Band is playing before you. I'm not familiar, but anyway, so that's happening tomorrow. The Phil Luke Band at 4:30, and then you got Todd Day Wait 7 o'clock. That'll be awesome. I might even try to come down for that. So. All right, what else? So the band, have you guys recorded, how much recorded material do you have?
Oh, we have, I have a EP that we did with the 3-piece band, just guitar, upright bass, and fiddle. Mm-hmm. But then I have a solo album I recorded in Germany a year and a half ago.
Cool.
Had a guy that runs a record label over there offered me to come over there and cut a record. And
no kidding. So had you toured over there? How'd they get familiar with you, or what's the connection?
Went over the first time I went over there. Went to Italy for this Umbria Jazz Festival, which is like a giant jazz festival in Europe. So you know, we were a hillbilly band, but
right.
That was the first time I went over there, and then that's actually where I met the drummer that plays with the band now. He was playing in a real hot jazz band at the time.
Okay.
I think actually how I met up with that guy. We played in North Carolina somewhere, and this guy was in the audience, and after the show came up and said, "Do you have any interest to come to Germany to record an album?" I'm like, "Yeah, you set it up and pay for it, then I'm down to go fly out there." And so ended up going out there and recorded it with my good buddy Mikey. Played banjo and harmonica on it, and then a German fiddle player played some tunes on it.
That's awesome. Is it available?
Oh yeah, both those are available on the website, and then also sell them at every show.
Okay.
And then gonna have a new album coming out, doing a recording session this fall down in Georgia, and gonna do the 5-piece current band.
All right. Hopefully, and that's gonna be a full record?
I think we're really gonna do. We're gonna turn out a few 45s.
Nice.
Hopefully try to get 2 45s out of it, and then see where those go.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, why don't you play me another song?
All right.
Or us, I should say.
Hopefully this song will be on it. This is another...
I get all selfish. I think they're my private concerts. I say it every Friday, but you're actually playing for many other people. And that's why the phone was ringing before. And I appreciate when people call, and I just can't pick up the phone while I'm chatting here with my guests. So we appreciate it. And here he is one more time. This is Todd Day Wait. You're listening to it on KOPN Columbia Open Mic Radio. What do you got for us, Todd?
This is another new song. Hope we record it. This one's called "It Looks Like Rain."
All right. Hey, I appreciate you playing some new stuff. This is great.
Oh, thank you.
All right, here we go. Todd Day Wait, one more time.
Is it your fault? Is it my fault? I just don't know who to blame. But I know, yes, it looks like rain. It looks like rain, far as the eyes can see. And that's all I've known, but not all I've seen. And I know I have a home, hey, is waiting for me, where we'll sing those songs we sung when we were young. Is it your fault? Is it my fault? I just don't know who to blame. But I know, yes, it looks like rain. And I know when it looks like rain. And I know sometimes rain means pain. And that's why I cry, thinking of you. In love that's gone and no longer true. Is it your fault? Is it my fault? I just don't know who to blame. But I know, yes, it looks like rain. And I know things come and go. And by now we all know how this hurting goes. But I know I have a home, hey, it's waiting for me, where we'll sing those songs we sung when we were young. Is it your fault? Is it my fault? I just don't know who to blame. But I know, yes, it looks like rain.
Well,
Oh, thank you.
another wonderful song. Thank you, Todd.
Oh, thank you.
Man, that's some good stuff. You're a great songwriter.
Oh, you never know.
Well, no, I mean, you've been writing songs for a long time, and that's some real pretty songwriting, man.
Oh, thank you.
I really mean it. All right, and I have a message, by the way, from the Peanut Gallery out there. I'm supposed to tell you that Hickerson says you owe him $20 and a stick of gum.
Well, we'll call it even. I'll keep the shirt. How about that?
All right, so that's a little shout out to Justin Hickerson. How do you doing, Justin? And I'm sure you guys will get squared away at some point here in the.
We just the Dome just acquired his hillbilly Porsche, we're cruising now. I mean, windows down, gravel's
So that's what you mean by you got a room out there by Cooper's. You're staying at the Dome.
Oh yeah.
Holy smokes! So I didn't realize that. That's a combination that could be very volatile out there.
Oh, it's some good times.
Who else is out there? Jesse's out there still, and Paul's
I'm not sure
out
legally
there.
who I can say is out there, but
we probably got the IRS listed, and ICE, and who knows who else.
We'll go with some code names. We got Jess Dog, and P Webb,
right?
And
of course Dame's running the whole show, but he's never there.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's the head honcho.
Yeah.
No, it's a fun time. Paul and Emily has that Three Creeks produce, and they kill it. They got great stuff.
Right. Let's give a shout out to those guys. That's Paul Weber and his partner Emily, and they run an organic farm. A little bit southwest of town. And what did you say? 3 acres?
I think it's Three Creeks produce is their deal, and they got all the kale and lettuce and all types of good stuff.
Then they're selling at the markets, I'm sure, and all that. Or
I think they sell them to all the grocery stores in town. They got restaurants. I know they fly over, and they supply a bunch of stuff for a lot of people.
Good for them. Well, Paul's a hell of a gardener. He's a great musician too.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's fun out there. We got a lot of good conversation, and everybody's doing something. It's nice to be in an environment that's relaxed setting, but everybody has like kind of their own busy thing they're doing.
Right, and then you can sit around and have a little jam session at night once in a while.
Oh yeah,
I imagine. What's you going to do a show out there at the Dome?
I don't know.
Anything official?
Oh, I don't think anything official. We've been picking out there. They got a good piano out there.
Yeah.
Probably going to try to cut some demos out there.
I remember the one they destroyed. Remember the piano that they burned?
There's been a lot of fun stories at the Dome over the last, decade. I was trying to think, at least a decade.
Yeah, it's been crazy out there today. And what a great addition, actually, to the music scene. I mean, Joe's done a great job.
He's done a good, hosting, taking care of Studer, a lot of local people, because musicians sometimes, always rambling around, and it's always nice to have a little
place
a lot of I think the Hoot and Hollers stayed out there. A lot of people stayed out there for over the years. So.
Right.
A lot of good bands.
They're just back from Europe, I guess.
Oh yeah, those guys. We were over there, and we played at some of the same clubs. People love the Hoot and Hollers over there.
Yeah.
I saw their stickers. One guy had a little patch on, and it's like, that Muddy Roots and a lot of that similar bands they play with are really big over there.
Yeah, well, they had a great time this time. I know that. So hopefully they're selling some records and some merch and all that stuff too. So.
Oh yeah.
Now Paul and the Scrappers. So Paul Weber was a member of your band for quite some time down in New Orleans. Is that right?
Sure. We I was actually having me and him played a few shows here in town, but then I started going on the road, and then I called him up one day and I was like, man, if you come out here to California for a few weeks and New Orleans for a few weeks, we could pick some tunes and do a little hustling. And so we did that for a couple of years, and then
for a few weeks, next thing you know, right?
Oh yeah. And the old Gilligan, come out for a few weeks, 2.5 years later, 48 states down,
Right.
But no, we had a lot of fun, and then he came back here, and he's got one of the killer bands in town. The Scrappers are a great band.
I agree.
They got everybody in the band's good. Dave Durnley. They just came out with a new record. I haven't heard it yet, but the Daves. Yeah.
In fact, they were here a couple weeks ago. The day before they did their release, but they had an album release party at Logboat. Actually,
That's right.
It was Friday the 13th of last month. And they were here that morning, and we played a bunch of tracks, or they played some tracks from the record, and it's really good. It's like an old school vinyl, like super heavy record, and they got some stuff that Dave and Andy did, some older stuff.
Perfect.
On the back side of it, on the B side, and the front side is Dave and Dave, and with a bunch of guests. You know what I mean? All kinds of people sitting in and playing with them. It's really, really great. And again, another super solid band around here, who you never know will show up with. They have all kinds of different folks that'll come and play with them. As you know, that's one of the things I was going to ask you about. You've been gone for a little while. The local scene, I've always been thrilled with it. I was wondering what your impression is since you even before and afterwards. What do you think's going on around here?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really, I guess, been hung around too much with I'm not sure who is really currently playing or doing much. I don't really know what's going on nowadays here, but I just know Dave Durnley for a long time, and him and Dave Angela and David Boy's been doing cool stuff, and I know the Hoot's always been killing it, and Weber, and But I don't know too many other bands in town that are doing stuff. But
it's still moving for sure.
When I grew up here, though, I was kind of lucky because there was the Blue Fugue. There was like 4 or 5 music venues, and so you kind of had a lot of access. And the Blue Fugue, I thought, was a really really good place. I mean, that's where the Hootenannies. I mean, a lot of us spend a lot of time down there.
Cut your teeth down there
because they had an open mic, but it was more than that. It was a few of the friends that worked there as bartender. It was kind of like a home away from home.
Yeah, it was something about the comfort level there was different than any place that I've been since there. Actually, I mean, and that was a home for us for sure for a while. It's too bad that they weren't able to make that work.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure how it all went down, but it was kind of nice to foster a lot of artists, because it was kind of like, I feel like it was a good example of how to do it, where you can make the music venue kind of a home for a lot of local artists. Because then all of a sudden your crowd becomes people that are actually intently want to listen, and that kind of drives the music to
a different level.
Be more, put more effort in, because people are actually listening instead of just a regular bar. And I mean, plus it didn't hurt that booze was cheap. You could stay there all night.
That's right.
Those things also help out.
They were a little loose with the locks on the doors and things like that. So it definitely was stretching the rules a little bit there. So, but hey, that's what it takes sometimes. So.
Oh yeah.
Hey, before we get too tight on time here, I got to take care of just a little bit of business, okay? All right, today the program is brought to you by listener support and a donation from Jill Rothstein at Good Food Co., now serving lunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until 2 p.m., including locally sourced vegetable-heavy soups, salads paired with a cobblestone or brioche. For more information, email jillbakes@yahoo.com or visit Good Food Co. on Facebook. And while we're at it, and Todd, you can kind of hop in here too, because I'm just going to talk about some of the local shows that are coming up tonight and tomorrow. As we were talking about, we've got tomorrow at Cooper's Landing. Might as well bring up that first. Actually, tonight at Cooper's is a band called Mick Bird and the Backroad Band. I'm not sure, again, unfamiliar with them, but anyway, tonight Mick Bird and the Backroad Band at Cooper's Landing. Tomorrow you got the Phil Luke Band at 4:30, and then my guest in the studio with me today, Todd Day Wait, will be playing at 7 o'clock tomorrow at Cooper's. Don't miss that. That'll be a great show. Tonight at Rose, you got happy hour as usual with somebody called King Benny. I tell you what, there's a lot of artists around that I think you and then you don't.
Out of the loop.
Todd's like, okay, I don't know King Benny. Well, I don't know him either. So anyway, King Benny tonight at Rose at about 5 o'clock, and then a little bit later at Rose, they've got the Midmo Rock Collective. That is Conman Economy, From Clay, Lifeline, and The Adaptation. The Blue Note is dark tonight, but they got a show tomorrow. The Hypnex reunion, that'll be cool.
Oh yeah,
right. The Hypnex still around, and doing a show tomorrow at the Blue Note, and they are featuring another band called Every Member of the Band. Oh, I guess that's not right. It's the Hypnex reunion featuring every member of the band ever. That ought to be interesting, actually. Okay, all right. So that's at the Note tomorrow. Let's see. What's Your Cafe Berlin? Tonight, we got True False presents Danny Paul Grody, Drecka, and Nevada Green. Another few shows I'm not familiar with.
Maybe that sounds fancy.
Yeah. And let's see here. We got, what was the Roachport Store? You played at the Roachport Store, I imagine, haven't you?
Yeah, we played there. I think hopefully we'll play there one more time, but played there a few times.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could do another show there before you leave. I love going to the Roachport Store. We live in Roachport, so
cool.
It's a fun little venue for the locals there, Yeah,
I'm trying to play every venue close to the Missouri River I can. It's like, if you're within 10 miles of the Missouri River, give me a shout.
Well, I'm sure they love you down there at the store. I bet you they'll get you there if they got an opening for sure.
Oh, it's a fun time down there.
The tonight actually is the Lace Wings. That's Molly Healy's band. I'm not sure how. I know it's her and another young lady. I don't know if there's a third or not. But anyway, Molly's worth seeing. You've probably picked with Molly a little bit. Have you played with her ever in the past? I don't think we ever
played a show together, but we've I think probably showed a bill a few times. But I've seen her play several times.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the Blue Fugue, I saw Molly Healy at the Blue Fugue 10 years, 12 years ago for sure. That really was a remarkable place. How many of the talented people that are still making their way around kind of came from that incubation like you were talking about. It's pretty interesting.
There was a good 3 or 4 years that was really solid if you wanted to. It's always nice when you're starting out playing music, people that will intently listen to you. It makes it's a different format than just playing to a crowd that's just drinking beer at a bar.
Not even paying attention.
Then it's kind of it's a different feeling, and they really helped some things grow, I think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so other than Cooper's, what do you got planned? You got some other shows scheduled coming up?
Well, I'm playing tonight in Boonville, Missouri.
No kidding.
They called me up and asked me to come in. I guess they have a hotel there.
Yeah, nice one, actually.
Yeah, and then they said they open up a little speakeasy in the bottom, so I'm going to play there from...
cool.
I think 7:30 to 9:30 or something like that. And
that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be a fun little set. Just play maybe 2 or 3 sets, and... I've never been there before, but every time I've mentioned it, people have told me it's a nice little hotel.
Yeah, it's a beautiful hotel. Maybe it is new that they've got something going on in the basement there, but they had a nice restaurant. I know they have a very nice restaurant there too. All right, cool. So that's tonight. Then tomorrow you got Cooper's, and I guess you got whatever you can get for the next few weeks, huh?
Yeah, I'm just here till mid-September, and I think I'm playing at the end of the month at Cooper's again, and then... for that Bokomo Ramble thing.
Yeah, cool.
Which is always a fun time. And,
yeah.
Just taking it easy.
All right, so to wrap things up, the 10th, that's tonight. The Lace Wings, that's featuring Molly Healy. That's at the Roachport store tonight. And we already talked about Cooper. So that's pretty much what's going on around town tonight. And with that, maybe I can get Todd to play another song for us here. You got time for another one?
I would love to.
All right, cool. This is Open Mic Radio. It's about 9:40 in the morning on Friday, the 10th of August. And again, to the people calling, hello, I appreciate you calling, and hopefully you're telling us how good the music sounds. And I can't pick up the phone though while I'm in here. One of these days, I'll take some calls on the air though, and we can actually talk. You can actually talk to our guests. Not today though. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have another song here from my guest, Todd Day Wait, and we'll ask him what he's gonna play for us.
I'll play this tune called One More Pair. The new tune I've been working on, and hope you guys like it.
All right. Once again, Todd Day Wait in the studio, KOPN Columbia.
I'll cry one more pair of these lonesome tears, then I'll never think of you, Lord, again. Out of sight and out of mind, you broke the ties that bind of a love that was true. I called to say, honey, I love you. Thought we were in love, and that's what lovers do. When I met you, I thought my crying days were through. So I'll cry one more pair, yes, of these lonesome tears, then I'll never think of you, Lord, again. Out of sight, out of mind, you broke the ties that bind of a love that was true. I called to say, honey, I love you. Thought we were in love, and that's what lovers do. When I met you, I thought my crying days were through. Yet I'll cry one more pair. Yes, of these lonesome tears. Then I'll never think of you, Lord, again.
Woo!
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. What's that one called?
One More Pair.
One More Pair. Beautiful song. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
What a great show and what a great guest. And I'm so lucky to have you in the studio. Thanks for coming down. We've had Todd Day Wait in the studio with me all morning, and we got him for another 15 minutes or so. So recording stuff. You said you're gonna do a couple 45s here in the near future.
Yeah, I gotta go down to Georgia and go to a nice studio, and got a good band lined up for that. And
why Georgia? You got a pal down there, or you got a connection down there to the studio?
yeah, working with the producer down there, and he's a great guy, and he really knows how to push the best out of you and get the best out of you, and then also he actually knows what he's doing. He's got it amazes me the wealth of knowledge he has on the stuff that that I'm specifically intrigued about. It's, I think whatever that is, it's like if you're into whatever you're into, it's like once you find someone that's a master at that, it's kind of intriguing.
Right.
It's like you just want to follow them around, like whatever bits of knowledge you want to say, I want to pick up.
No, it's weird, and not just in music, but if a person is lucky, they'll come across someone in their life who's like that, who just is just like very special in whatever way, and they just want to learn everything they can from that person because for whatever reason that's the one that they should be following, or learning from.
Sure.
So, and recording music is an art, like making, like writing and performing it. It's a whole different animal when you actually have to record it and make it sound good after the fact. You know what I mean?
Sure. It's a process, and I have a certain process that I like doing when I record. So it's kind of makes it in one aspect a little more difficult than the standard how that people record nowadays. But
well, tell me a little bit about your songwriting kind of methodology, and then how you like to record. I'm interested in it.
All for songwriting, just like picking and writing. And
so songs can kind of come out of nowhere. There's no particular sort of process that you use for that.
Oh yeah, no, just pop in. Hope I don't forget them. Hope they're good enough not to forget myself.
Write it down.
If I forget them, then why would anybody else listen? I wrote them. If I can't remember them, then it can't be that memorable. But so yeah, something pops in my head that I think is good. Usually try to, pick out some more lyrics and pick out some tune that goes along with it, and go from there. Try to. Sometimes you polish them up, and sometimes you don't. Right.
Now, what about recording? You said you have a unique way of record, or your own style of doing it.
Well, they just kind of the way they, I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel with the recording process. I think they really mastered it in the 50s and 60s of like really had to dial in the human tone and character and capture these souls, and like there's a reason why those genre. I mean, even any genre, there's a reason why those songs. I can pull a 45 out and put it on, and it sounds just as relevant. Just as cool today. That's 50 years later.
Yeah, that's true.
So for me, I did not only kept like the audio, but like the spirit and like the idea of what a record's supposed to be. And so I just kind of try to follow those lines. Have always kind of intrigued me. Doing live band. I figured if they could do it back in 1955, 1965, and surely in 2018 we can. Muster up the talent to do it that way,
as opposed to recording all the instruments individually. Is that sort of what you mean?
Oh yeah, I think and it's how everybody wants to do it, but to me it's kind of I enjoy the process a lot better of building a song when you do it live, and you do these it's a totally different way you would arrange it, because you kind of do it more, you do all the stuff that people do after the fact, like editing the adjusting each tone on the computer, the EQ, or adjusting the mixing, all that stuff. If you actually do it all in the beginning, It's the kind of same amount of work, but it's just a different process that happens. Because then when you're done,
right,
everything's already kind of mixed and everything already sounds good. So it makes the actual post process relatively pretty easy.
I see. All right. So, and the full band will be doing the recording with you guys in Georgia. You said the guys that you've been. Are you going to do any touring between now and then, or are you?
We do. We got invited to play the Rhythm and Roots Festival in Tennessee. It's a big festival in the Southeast, and they got a bunch of great bands, and we're playing there 2 nights. And we'll do that into September, and then...
What part of Tennessee? Is that Memphis, or...?
No, we do... it's Bristol, Tennessee. It's one of those border towns. It's right on the border of Tennessee and Virginia.
Oh, cool. So pretty far east, okay.
Yeah, they do it how the Roots and Blues used to do it. Like it's in this downtown.
Like downtown.
So
man.
They have the stages all through town, which is kind of a nice setting, because these big stages and all these smaller bars have vans too. And
yeah, I liked it. I liked when Roots and Blues was in town. I know a lot of people appreciate it now that it's down at Stevens, and I know it's a great venue down there too. But it was just kind of nice when it was in town, and you could kind of just duck off into a club on the side if you wanted to, and you weren't kind of captured. It wasn't as much of a captive audience, if you know what I mean. So
I like the character of that. It makes it kind of nice, a little special, and then we go back to the full band goes back to Europe October and November.
All right. So for the future, I mean, are you planning living wise? Will you be in New Orleans? Is that kind of where you guys are headquartered?
That's where we're based out. That's where the band is, and most of the guys, and
pretty much plan on staying there for a bit.
Oh yeah, you never know. I like the town. I've been down there for quite a while, so I'll either move there or somewhere else here.
All right.
I actually got to decide the next few months which one I'm going to go to, and but it was kind of, I had some time to think about it, and I moved out of my spot in New Orleans in the springtime, so I had the month of August off, so it kind of made sense to come here and rent a room. I got a good bunch of good buddies down here, so it's fun to have been hanging out.
Yeah, it's like vacation.
Oh yeah, a little vacation, trying to make it justified by playing some shows. And
I wish you could do a show with Paul. I'd love to see you and the Scrappers do something between. I don't know if they've got anything scheduled between now and the time you're leaving.
They're playing sometime. I think they're playing Cooper's, or they're playing Logboat, I think, this month or something.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Yeah, that's one we're going to have to work on. I'd love to see you guys on the bill together.
Oh yeah.
All right, we've got just a few minutes here, so I'm gonna wrap things up for a couple of take care of a couple of things here, and then maybe you can play us one more on the way out. How about that?
Perfect.
Okay. Oh, also before we do that, let's talk about contact information.
Oh, sure.
And if people want to get a hold of you or find your records or whatever,
you can always go to the website, which is just tdwpigpen.com, and you can go there and find about shows and buy merch and stuff. And then you can find us online at Facebook and all those fun things, Instagram, and just Todd Day Wait's Pigpen is the full name of the band. And if you see Todd Day Wait around here on the bill, that's just me picking by myself, but we'll give you a good show too.
Yeah, for sure. So Todd will be here for another 5 or 6 weeks, and it is definitely worth seeing him. You've had a little taste of it this morning. We'll get one more on the way out here, but you'll want to catch him tomorrow at Cooper's Landing at 7 o'clock if you get a chance. That'll be a real fun show, and maybe I'll buy you a beer if you recognize who I am down there. That's why I do radio. Anyway, all right, we have Speaking of the Arts coming up in just a few minutes with Diana Moxon. We have some great radio coming up later in the day. I see that Jill just walked in. She's over there in the studio doing something for her show. That's Penguin Tracks at 4 o'clock. Then at 6 o'clock, you got Power Pop Pat playing a bunch of punk rock and pop music until 8. And then you got the Grateful Dead show and a bunch of good stuff throughout the night. I would like to say, if you want to get a hold of me, if you have a suggestion or if you're a band that wants to come on the show, you can get a hold of me at Mike Hagan at MikeHagan.com. So pretty easy, just Mike Hagan, it's Hagan, Mike Hagan at MikeHagan.com. And I am still working on that website so I can get this stuff up. And so also, Todd, I'll have an MP3 of this and I'll put it up on the web and give you a link for it so you can share it with anybody. But eventually we'll have a little website up with all those things that are right there in front of you so you can download them or share them with your friends for any of these programs that we're doing. So, all right, so that's the business that I have to do. We've got about 5 or 6 minutes, so we're going to let Todd wrap it up here and say thanks again one more time. I sure appreciate it, Todd.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. And for the listeners, stick around. Keep it tuned in here to KOPN 89.5 FM. Speaking of the Arts with Diana Moxon in just about 5 or 6 minutes. I'll be running the board for her, and that's always a lot of fun with Diana. So please stick around. And in the meantime, we'll hear one more from Todd Day Wait. And it's been KOPN Columbia's Open Mic Radio. My name is Mike Hagan. Thanks, Todd. What do you got?
This is a song I wrote a little while ago. This one's called Lie to Me. Hope you guys like it.
All right.
I want you to lie to me. Lord, tell me you need me. Lie to me. Lord, tell me I'm that only one. The only one in your heart. Hey mama, that's all. And I'll lie to you, I'll tell you I'm not blue. Even though we both know shines right through. Lie to me, Lord, tell me we're more than friends. Lie to me, tell me, Lord, that this won't end. 'Cause a cold hard truth just won't do. So I'll lie to you, tell you I'm not blue. Even though we both know it shines right through. Lie to me, Lord, tell me I cross your mind. Lie to me, tell me you wish for me sometimes. 'Cause the cold hard truth just won't do. And I'll lie to you, I'll lie to myself too. 'Cause we know just what we'll both do. Lie to me, Lord, tell me I'm that only one. The only one in your heart. Hey mama, that's all.
All right.
Oh, thank you, man.
One more time, Todd Day Wait. Thank you one more time, Todd.
Yes, man. Sir.
All right, there we go. Stick around for a minute. After I get things going here, I'll come out and say hi, okay? Or goodbye.
Thank you.
All right, so we got a couple minutes here, and once again, Open Mic Radio. I'll be back next week. I'm not sure who we're going to have on the air next week. I think there is a band of some relatively young folks around town that I ran into at Cooper's last week. They are called White Lodge, and we may have them on the air, and we may not. I know the Ina Cook Band will be with us on the 31st of August, and I've got I don't know, a bunch of other folks lined up between now and whenever. September's going to be a little bit weird because we do the one read program in September, and they read the book on at like 9 o'clock every day. They're going to have to read some of the one read book. So we're only going to have a half an hour to do the program for those 4 Fridays in September, for me at least. So I'm going to come up with something. I probably won't have guests because it's not enough time, but we'll probably I'll come up with something. Okay. All right. Stick around. I'm just going to put a little background music on, and we've got a couple minutes before we have Diana Moxon. And speaking of the arts, stick around for that program. It's always a good one.
And she changed your place. Lord, she needs a new man. Lord, if that don't give you them other morning